Hi, I'm Hillary Kennedy, and I'm here today to talk about Zero Blast, your full-service sports hygiene solution. As you know, infections like staph are a growing concern among parents, coaches, doctors, really anyone involved in sporting and healthcare environments. Zero Blast addresses these concerns with a multi-pronged, full-service approach. Today we're going to look at Zero Blast and hear from their supporters so you can see why Zero Blast may be the right fit for you. Microbes have evolved, and menaces like MRSA and swine flu have gained attention in the media. One thing that hasn't changed is the overall approach to handling microbial infection. Hand washing is the #1 way to prevent the spread of germs, but studies show only about 20% of people actually wash their hands after going to the restroom, and a small percentage of those folks follow proper guidelines. Another way to prevent the spread of germs is cleaning more often, which isn't cost-effective or safe. Exposing people to more chemicals in an effort to reduce germs can be counterproductive, not to mention the costs involved when dealing with a shrinking budget. What if there was a safer solution that offered better results than any method you're currently using, and you didn't have to do any of the work? Do I have your attention? Zero Blast uses multiple processes that incorporate proven technology to attack germs where they live and breed, and their full-service approach makes financial sense. Let's take a look at the Zero Blast processes and dive into the science and steps involved to keep everyone safer from infection. Did you know 80% of germs are spread through surface contact? When you mix in athletes, humid showers, or sick patients, your risk from infection goes up dramatically. Certain environments call for extra steps to be taken. That's why Armor Blast is our most popular service. With Armor Blast, we apply a biostatic polymer that bonds to surfaces to provide a long-lasting germ-killing shield to any surface. Let's face it, areas like locker rooms and exam rooms don't always get the thorough cleanings they need. And when one staph cell can become 17 million in 48 hours, you need all the help you can get. To explain the product more is Jared Nemrigat, a founding partner of Zero Blast. Jared, thanks for taking the time to explain this revolutionary product.
Thank you.
Now, Jared, before we get started, I've got to say, I've never heard about anything like this. How new is this technology?
Believe it or not, Hillary, this technology is over 25 years old and was mainly used in the textile industry before making its way into facilities.
Wow, so it's been around for some time. I have to tell you, I'm still not quite sure how this stuff works. Honestly, it sounds too good to be true.
Well, the way it works is really quite simple. We apply a liquid polymer that, once dry, forms microscopic spikes which destroy bacteria. Take a look at this picture. This is what the product looks like under a powerful microscope. Those spikes are 10 nanometers tall. True nanotechnology.
What sets this apart from the cleaners most people are currently using? Don't they all kill germs?
They do. And that's where the similarities stop. A major difference is that our service kills bacteria, mold, fungus, and viruses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we reapply every 90 days.
Well, let me stop you there. 24/7?
Exactly. Because the product doesn't leach out into germs, it stays bonded to the surface. Germs are attracted to the surface and impaled by the spikes. Also, once dry, the product is invisible and non-toxic.
So, non-toxic, it's safe.
Absolutely. The product's registered with the EPA and USDA accepted for food surfaces. It doesn't get much safer than that.
So, once you've come in, do I need to clean ever again?
Yes, you do need to clean, but just once a day, and you can use a less harsh cleaner detergent. Regular cleaning removes debris and exposes the surface. It's that easy. Armor Blast makes surfaces easier to clean by filling microscopic pores and makes surfaces smoother. No more nooks and crannies for dirt and biofilms to hide in.
It's like having someone cleaning 24 hours a day.
You got it. Here's a great example of the power of Armor Blast and how it fills gaps left by conventional cleaning methods. Let's pretend my hand is a surface, and this is what I'm using to wipe the surface with. At night, I clean. You're the first person in. You have a staph infection. You get into your locker. Okay. Well, to get your staph infection off, I would have to clean, right? Well, you come back in later in the day. All right, I clean again. No one cleans that often. Now let's put Armor Blast on the surface. I cleaned last night, Armor Blast is down. Guess what? Staph infection's dead. It's that simple. You don't have to keep cleaning all day long.
Wow, so what surfaces can you protect?
Any. The product has been tested on hard, soft, porous, and non-porous surfaces, and it works on all of them. You can protect lockers, exam tables, sports equipment, door handles.
That's one that definitely needs it.
Don't forget, we can protect mats, restrooms, showers, the list goes on and on.
So you've got the EPA registration, USDA acceptance, 25 years of use, but there's still going to be skeptics. How do you prove to me that this stuff really works?
Easy. We monitor the results. Customers can choose to have the test performed before and after application to make sure we're within acceptable thresholds for their facilities. You keep the results so you always know where your facility stands.
Let's get down to brass tacks. How much does this cost?
Prices start at 25 cents a square foot and go down from there. We provide packages for people with a lot of equipment that needs protection more so than the entire room as well.
It just keeps getting better. Jared, thank you for telling us more about Armor Blast.
It's my pleasure.
Well, and Jared will be back in our next segment, but before we get there, let's hear why Matt Lewis, the head equipment manager for TCU, chooses Zero Blast's full line of services.
We chose to use Zero Blast due to the fact it's easy, convenient for us in terms of our daily sanitizing needs. In the past, we've had to put some extra man hours in on a weekly basis to make sure that our areas were cleaned and sanitized properly, whereas you guys were able to come in and help us effectively do that. My overall level of satisfaction with Zero Blast is very high. Again, we've seen our staff or any type of germ spreading seem to be minimized. We've had the areas of our weight room, our football locker room, our athletic training facility. I believe we also maybe did men's basketball, our soccer facilities. I believe those were the facilities that were taken care of through the Zero Blast protection. If they're not using the Zero Blast product and services, I'd recommend that they take a hard look at the services and protection, the level of service and the level of protection that Zero Blast can provide. We've been very pleased. Again, the convenience aspect of it has been great and awesome. So highly recommend that to anyone that has those needs. You know, the overall cost, we really didn't see a major increase in the cost when we went to Zero Blast. Two, you pay for what you're getting, and we felt like that the level of service that Zero Blast provided us, we couldn't afford not to go out and spend the money to make sure, again, that our areas were cleaned and sanitized properly.
It's understood that sports equipment and other soft surfaces harbor germs. The smell created by these bugs is a sure sign they're there. Most of these soft surfaces are hard to clean. You can't just pop shoulder pads in a washing machine. Most of us do the best we can and apply a spray, but that takes a lot of time, not to mention the fact that the pads touch the player's skin. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to stick my hand in a bottle of any of those cleaners, and that's essentially what athletes are doing every time they put on their gear. Zero Blast provides a safe, non-toxic solution that kills deep in the pads where the germs breed. The best part is, you guessed it, Zero Blast does all of the work and the results last for 90 days. They show up on site and take care of everything. What will really blow you away is how fast they can do this. A football team can be completed in about 4 hours. Hockey, lacrosse, and most other sports, Zero Blast can sanitize and protect your equipment in about 1 hour. There's no boxing up and shipping off equipment, no tracking what's been done or dealing with closets full of chemicals. None of that. And when it comes to cost, some customers have told us that Zero Blast costs as much as just shipping equipment, and then they had to pay to have it sanitized. Let's hear why Rich Smelzer, athletic trainer for Texas Tornado, chooses Zero Blast.
When you have 24/7 protection, that definitely puts your mind at ease. As you said, when the cleaning staff comes in at night in order to clean that locker room, they're not cleaning the locker room They're not cleaning out the lockers. They're not cleaning out the stall area. They're cleaning the floor, and that's it. The benches are probably even lucky if you get those wiped down. The advantage to having that 24/7 protection down is the fact for that next 90 days, we know we're protected. We know that we're not going to have to worry about it, and if there is something, we can just kind of come over and just lightly wipe it off. As long as we're not getting a huge buildup of dust in the area, we're fine. But the disadvantage is the fact that when we have that, when we're counting on just our cleaning people to come through, they're too busy, they're trying to take care of an entire school in a night, and they're not getting it done. The success so far that I've seen come out of Zero Blast in comparison to other systems have definitely been higher. My personal success rate has been probably about 99-100% so far with Zero Blast. I have friends who have been using other systems and have been going through doing ozones, doing other sprayings, treating their equipment, and not getting the results that they were promised. The use of Zero Blast in a high school is definitely going to decrease the number of man hours that the athletic trainers are putting in, the cleaning staff are putting in, and also the chemical use that's being put down. It's definitely a much more cost-saving advantage to everybody involved. Everybody from the AD down to the athletic trainer to your cleaning staff, and when it gets right down to it most, the publicity level. If you're able to say that, hey, we've been treating our equipment, our publicity's going to keep that staph infection away, that's going to be huge when it comes to your parents and to your athletes, that you don't have to worry about it.
Jared Nimmergut is back to help us understand the process better. Jared, why should teams choose Zero Blast over the sprays they're using? I mean, those sprays are dirt cheap.
You're right, they are cheap. And you get what you pay for. Take a look at this graphic that will drive home the power of Zero Blast. Here's a comparison of Zero Blast's ozone method versus traditional spray methods. You've got a typical athletic pad here with padding and covering and plenty of germs. You'll see the traditional sprays only kill what's on the surface, and they can't get deep down where more germs live. Once the pad is used again, germs are back, the germs in the pads have bred, and the cycle starts over. To be effective, this process must be repeated every day. Let's turn our focus to Zero Blast method. Same pad, same germs. But here's where the difference is. Zero Blast delivers a shock of ozone that kills deep down in the padding. That's followed by the same non-toxic Armor Blast we use in your facilities. That keeps germs away and pads safe for 90 days. Safer, longer lasting, we do the work, hands down better results.
It amazes me that one would have to spray chemicals on pads every day to get the results that still aren't as effective as Zero Blast.
Those cheap sprays don't look so cheap when you add in labor. Talk about a time waster. And we know time is money.
Oh, tell me about it. So, Jared, take me through the process here. I'm a coach, you show up. Where do we go from there?
It's simple. We find out where the equipment is, and we go to work.
Well, what if the equipment's in the locker room?
No problem. We can get it from a player's locker and back into the same locker.
Really? Well, how do you do so much equipment at one time?
We have our own patent-pending mobile ozone unit that can hold around 120 pieces of football equipment or 20 sets of equipment for sports like hockey and lacrosse.
Now, what all do you sanitize for, let's say, a football team?
Most customers choose to have their helmets and shoulder pads sanitized and protected. We have specially designed racks for each, so we can load and unload efficiently.
Sounds like you guys know what you're doing. So, you're using ozone. Isn't that dangerous or bad for the environment?
That's a common misconception. Ozone is a naturally occurring gas, and when it's done working in our unit, it turns into oxygen. As long as you're outside the unit, you'll be fine. That's why we like it. There's no residue on equipment.
So, once you're done, the pads get the same 90 days of protection with Armor Blast. If someone gets both services, they really are addressing the staph problem head on.
You bet. There's no better way or cost-effective way to keep athletes and their environment safe. Clean and protected pads, clean and protected facilities.
And you save money.
It's that simple.
Well, Jared, thank you again for that great information. Well, there you have it. Zero Blast is the obvious choice when it comes to protecting your facility from microbial infection. Zero Blast offers cost-effective solutions that come to you and offer you superior results to anything you're doing now, all while being non-toxic. So what are you waiting for? Contact Zero Blast today.